talking about money.
We're talking
right
about some money.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
This was a history lesson. So speaking of economics, because I spoke to you prior to this, but can we talk about the internal banking families of Europe?
Oh,
Can we give a history of that? And so that when I
Yes.
talked about the young gentleman who came, he was speaking about some theories. They came up, and I was just like, that's interesting because I've never heard him talk like that before. Maybe he doesn't have all the knowledge. So can you enlighten us all?
Oh yeah, I'll give a little bit here. First of all, people try to argue and say that it is a conspiracy theory when you are talking about David Rockefeller, when you're talking about the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. This is actual fact. There's no theoretical anything behind it. They met off the coast of Jekyll Island of Georgia. They met off the coast on a small island. We're talking about David Rockefeller and some other individuals to come up with a way where they could take control over the monetary policies of America. The Federal Reserve has nothing to do with the United States Constitution. It states in the United States Constitution that Congress shall hold the right to print the money and so forth and so on. But who is the Federal Reserve? They have nothing to do with America. They are a gangster group, a third party, who came in and they took over these banking systems from Europe, and then they gradually moved into the rest of the planet. By the time they got to America, that's when 1913 came along with the passing of the Federal Reserve Act. And once that happened, all of the power to print money, coin money, etc., turned over into the Federal Reserve and no longer Congress. It used to say a silver certificate at the top of the dollar. It said silver certificate, meaning, oh, this is backed by silver. Okay. Or it was backed by gold.
Right.
Okay. But then it switched to Federal Reserve Note. What the hell does that mean? And now the money system is not under the people, it's not under Congress, it's not under our control per se, it's under the control of a third party gangster group organization that uses it to control and enslave the planet. That's what that is about. Hence why the economy is so high. They use war to make money. But if they use the war to make money, then the dollar goes further into debt, therefore having less worth, higher inflation. So what a dollar is worth today ain't nothing. It's nothing compared to what it was back then.
Yeah.
America currently on Wall Street, they're saying it's a little over $22-23 trillion in debt. Well, no, that's not true. They're not adding in Medicaid, Medi-Cal, all those things, the IOUs that they have for all these other nations. America has over $70 trillion in debt, and it's growing every day. They're printing millions every day, which means you print more, the money becomes less and less and less and less and less valuable. That's why also people need to start looking at gold, hence why gold is so high right now.
Yeah, all time high this week.
You know what I'm saying? All time high. Silver is going up, even though some people say I don't buy silver, but the pre-1933 silver coins in particular you should be buying, because those are worth about, I think it costs about $23, $25 per coin. So you want to get some of those. Why? Because the dollar, brother, is about to become completely obsolete. It's about to get to a point like it got.
It looks like things are heating up. That's a clip from Earn Your Leisure from 5 years ago with Reza Islam giving us a background history on the Federal Reserve Bank and how it's not connected to our government or our Constitution. So let's get into this. Justice Department opens a criminal investigation of Fed chair. The Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation of the Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell. The central bank said on Sunday, tied to the renovation of the Fed's headquarters along the National Mall. Powell accused the Justice Department of using the threat of criminal prosecution to pressure the central bank to lower interest rates, describing newly issued grand jury subpoenas as an unprecedented challenge to the Fed's independence. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. Powell said in a video and statement posted to the central bank's website on Sunday. A Justice Department official familiar with the effort confirmed the inquiry into the Federal Reserve, speaking on the condition of immunity because of ongoing investigation. Tim Lauer, a spokesman for the top federal prosecutor in D.C., Janine Pirro, said, "We do not comment on ongoing investigations." President Donald Trump, who originally nominated Powell to serve as Fed chair during his first term in 2017, has spent much of his second term attacking and threatening to fire the Fed chief for not slashing interest rates to juice the economy. The Fed has moved slowly to lower rates as it weighs a weakening labor market with elevated inflation that has made its job more difficult. Powell said the threat of prosecution would not interfere with his service as Fed chair. His term as chair ends in May, and Trump is expected to soon announce a decision on his successor. Senator Thomas Tillis, a Republican of North Carolina, took to X to attack the inquiry. If there were any remaining doubt whether advisors within the Trump administration are actively pushing to end the independence of the Federal Reserve, there should now be none. He said, it is now the independence and credibility of the Department of Justice that are in question. Tillis added that he would oppose the confirmation of any nominee for the Fed, including the upcoming vacancy for chair, until this legal matter is fully resolved. Powell's video was notable for its forceful pushback after years of generally avoiding commenting at all on Trump's repeated attacks of the central bank. He said the Justice Department is seeking information about his June testimony before a Senate panel on steps the central bank took to tone down a renovation of its Washington headquarters. He described the focus on the project and his testimony as pretext. Administration officials in the summer alleged that the Fed chair either lied to Congress about the multi-year renovation or grossly mismanaged the project. But the criticism after Trump made a rare visit to the Fed's construction site in July, something a sitting president hadn't done in roughly 20 years. During the visit, Trump refrained from criticizing the Fed chair, telling reporters he didn't want to make the meeting personal. He later said he wouldn't fire Powell and signaled he wanted the project to proceed. So, yeah. Things are heating up. I mean, if this is a criminal organization that has infiltrated our government, why not investigate them? I know a lot of people take issue with Trump and some of the things that he's doing, but based upon what Rizza just said and the video that we showed earlier, why would we not investigate the Federal Reserve Bank if they have nothing to do with the Constitution and nothing to do with our government? What sense does it make that they continue to set the interest rates and continue to raise the debt of the people here? So I'm not against this at all. I can't wait to see how this plays out. This is interesting. We've never seen a president operate the way that Trump is operating. I am sure he is answering to someone larger than himself as to why these moves are being made. I just recently learned that our government is operating at a de facto. I learned that from Brother Truth. If you are not following Brother Truth, you definitely need to follow Brother Truth and Brother Rizza Islam. Brother Rizza Islam was the one that told us early on during COVID that we should stay away from these shots, that we are now with these vaccines, that we are now finding out have all these adverse effects on the people here. So I listen to him a lot. I follow his lead. He is someone that we can trust within the community that's going to give us some great information. He hasn't missed not once. Brother Truth has not missed not once. A de facto government is a government that is not running within the Constitution. So this is amazing to sit back and watch. We are living in unprecedented times here. And I think we all just need to pay attention and calm down and stop taking sides so much. Many of us, anything that you hear Trump do, we get defensive. We don't like him because we think he's racist. We got to get past that and open our eyes and pay attention to what's really going on here. We have been off the gold standard for years now. The dollar is sinking to its lowest. And I think this man is really trying to make some changes that will benefit us all in the long run. Well, this is the Awareness District. I am T Short. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, repost, and tell a friend.